Trendline strategy that can help you to grow your account. And if you have never known how people use Trendline to be profitable traders, this video is for you. So I asked if you want for me to do this video, and I got some requests, and I'm doing these videos because I know someone who wants to know how to use Trendline for any market, or they want to build it as a strategy. You will be watching this video. Now, anytime you're using Trendline, I want you to split it, like I want you to follow the 3 steps. Step 1, you have to choose the time frame that you want the main trend line to be. Time frame. I keep saying this because the time frame that you choose will at least be the base of your chart. Now, you cannot start doing trend lines on 5 minutes and you don't know higher time frame what is happening. So for me, I like doing my first trend line on the daily, because daily I consider it as a higher time frame. So at least you will need a time frame that of your choice. You can use 2 hours, 4 hours daily, but I don't want you to go directly to 5 minutes because you won't know the direction of the market. Number 2, when you're using trendline strategy, you are looking for 2 things: break of trendline or rejecting of trendline. So it's either you want to trade the break or the rejection. What do I mean? If this is your market and I have my trend line here, let's say this is my trend line, and it has touched 3 times. So it has the first touch, it is not happening. So it has the first touch, the second touch. So that touch, you have to understand that it's either it is coming to break the trend line or to reject the trend line. So when we say the trend line has been broken, it means it will break and then continue to sell. That is a trend line that has been broken. A trend line that has been rejected is a market looking like this. So you have 3 touches again. So this touch, so you have a trade, your market looks like that: first touch, second touch. Now the third touch, there can be rejection. So even before you trade your trend line strategy, you have to know that these are the 2 things that can happen with your trend line. And I don't know if when you trade trend line, have you ever considered that the trend line can either break or can either reject? Now, you have to have a strategy if the market breaks. You have to have a strategy if the market rejects. Now, it's so simple. That thing, once you identify that, you will use a pattern in your trend line for accurate confirmation. Why? Because if the trend line is breaking and coming to retest, you are looking for a way to look for a double top. So you're looking for a double top, okay? So we are looking for a double top if the trend line will break. Because if it breaks, of course, they'll come to retest. So you look for a double top in any time frame, because already one thing you've been told, the sellers have power, and a selling market, you want to use a pattern like a double top. So pattern, you use a double top if a trend line breaks. If a trend line is rejecting, guess what? We will be using a double bottom. A double bottom helps us to do what? To understand the buying market, right? A double bottom helps us to understand a buying market. So today, I will do when the trend line rejects. and then the other video I will do when the trend line breaks. So today we are focusing with rejection of trend line. So today we are focusing on rejection. The other video I will focus with the breaking. Now, what you need to notice is that when you are drawing your trend line, you will look for if the trend is uptrend. If the trend is uptrend, just spot where we have a double bottom. If a trend is downtrend, spot where there is a double top. That is something that I keep saying when you're trading a trend line. Now, I want you to see this is an uptrend. Of course, I'll be looking for a buy, and I'm looking for rejection because I don't want to go against the trend. So I will look where I have a double bottom. So I'm looking where I have a double bottom, and I can see a very small double bottom there. So I would want to start my trend line in this area because it's a very major key zone. So when I connect my trend line to this second line, I can see I have the first touch, the second touch, and now we are coming to the third touch. Now, this is where I'm saying the first touch and the second touch, at least it builds the foundation. Now, the third touch, either the market can come. Now, you don't know if it will come, reject, or it will come and break. That one you don't know. So when you're using higher time frame, you're using to get the two spots. You get spot 1 and spot 2, but once we get that, you cannot stay on the daily. So we will go on the 4-hour chart. So let's go on our 4-hour chart. So we have flipped our chart and we want to adjust. So you can see we have touch 1 and touch 2. And I told you, if this market will reject this trend line, if they'll come here to reject the trend line, what will help them reject the trend line will be a double bottom that is waiting. If the market will break, they will come and form a double top. So if you can see here, I already have a possible place where market can get a double bottom. You can see we have a double bottom. Now I'll be waiting carefully to see the market coming to react. Now I have two things. It can react to my trend line and it can react to my double bottom. I just need a touch, then I change the time frame. So if you're watching this double bottom with 4-hour, you cannot wait it touches and then the entry the same time frame because you can lose a lot of money because it's a higher time frame. So I'm marking that. That is my neckline. This is my neckline. And I measure half. So let's measure half. So everything is ready. The only thing I need is activation of my double bottom. So let's wait for activation of the double bottom. So the market is coming down. Now here you're not doing anything. You're just waiting for the market to activate this box so that we can flip time frame. So you can see it has activated our trend line. Can you see it is touching our trend line, but it's not touching our box. It's not touching our box. So we cannot say we have a double bottom. So you can see they are coming towards the box. Now, what majority of people don't know is that when the market comes to our trend line, majority of people will say it has broke. Oh, the trend line has broke, let us sell. No, we don't do that because remember this trend line you used using daily time frame. And if it has to break, we have to see a candle breaking with the time frame that you used to draw the trend line. So if I'm supposed to have a trend line break, I cannot say it has broken with 4-hour, but with daily. Daily is the one that will give us confidence that the market has broken. Now, by the time it's breaking like this, we are coming to get a touch of our trade. You can see we have our touch Can you see we have our touch now? This is a double bottom, and already we have a bullish engulf, meaning that this market is a strong buy and it is coming all the way to our half. And because we know we enter our double bottom with current resistance, 4 hour has already given us a go ahead to trade, because remember, a trendline strategy, we don't use current resistance break, it's just rejection. So this price is rejecting at the trend line, but you're just combining the double bottom. So if I go to the lowest time frame, like 5 minutes, and I want to see what really happened in my 5 minutes when the market touched my double bottom, this is what I will have. So this is my 5 minutes, and you can see on 5 minutes, I had a current resistance break. Can you see that current resistance break? I have a current resistance break. And if you were monitoring this trade since when the market reacted to our box, because this box you had it, if you flipped on lower time frame and you are observing for the box to be broken, you would have made all this money. When the CRB broke, you would have made this money, you would have made 384 pips rather than staying on 4 hours. So we need to understand that we are using this box for reaction or rejection, and 5 minutes would have been a perfect time frame to go and observe where the market is reacting to. So we would have seen very well current resistance market breaking very well, and would have been very profitable in this case. Now, whenever the market gives you an entry with 4 hour, our take profit, guys, is up to the half. Is up to the half here. So we are targeting all the way to the half. Remember, you can target to the half, or you can have a trend line. You can have a trend line connecting this area and this area. So it's not a must it comes to the neckline. The market can come to touch this zone. So let's see what really happened. Did the market continue to buy? Did it retest? You can see the market continued to buy up to our half. Once our half was broken, so that trendline strategy, combining it with a double bottom, is very, very profitable. Remember, I'm not teaching you double bottom, I'm teaching you trendline. The market, what it does, it rejects or it can break. Even when we go to the daily, you will see the rejection. You can see the trend line never broke. So don't be fooled when the trend line breaks on 4 hour and think, oh, it will break. No, it cannot break. Now, what I need you to do, once the market goes up, we will adjust the trend line. You can see me adjusting the trend line. So this becomes my third touch. And most of the time, because now we have a go ahead of half breaking, I'm waiting at all cost for my market to react to my trend line. Are we together? So if you're trading trend lines combined with the double bottom, you won't come to trade. You will not come to trade when the half is broken. That is something that I tell people. If you're combining these two strategies, if you want to trade the double bottom again, you will wait for the market to come and at least touch the trend line so that you can put your buys. Let us see what really happened. So already we know it's a buy. So we are waiting for the market to come and react to our trend line. Can you see how the market has reacted to our trend line? Can you see? So if we enter buy, if I come and say long position, the reason why I am confident to buy is because already my double bottom broke half. So I have a confluence of a double bottom breaking half, and now I can buy back to the trend line or back to the half or whatever. And then now the stop loss, you can use lower time frame for your stop loss. And that's what we have. So right now the market is trending there. That is how you trade a trend line strategy. It was very profitable for the second time of touching the trend line. And we have made, or you could have made 1,287 pips. Now, this market has this market has a chance of coming back to the trend line and activate for 26 pips, or have another chance of coming back and touching the trend line. So all I want us to do is, you see now, these are very, very, very profitable strategy when you combine with a double bottom. So what I want you now to do, as long as there is a double bottom here, the market can come to reject that trend line. So you just put your double bottom there and you wait for the market either to drop. So there's a possibility the market can go back to 40 or 40.55 or that. So at the end of the day, trendline strategy, when you use it with a double bottom, for me, I feel it is more profitable than trying to use it alone. So these are the current market. This is what the current market is giving. If you need to continue with this, just put your details. So the market right now is floating, is just floating. So we just need to wait and see what the market will give us. If the sellers will come down, of course, they're coming to target here. So we can see, and then you can even have a small trend line here like that. It's not a wonder when you start seeing the sellers rejecting this trend line. So that is the trend line strategy, but you have to combine it with another pattern for accurate results. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you need my mentorship program, I charge $1,500, $1,500 for 1 month mentorship. We have a class, the end year class. It's starting on 8th of December. Make your plans to join my class. You'll come to learn new things, new strategies. You'll be able to build your confidence in trading, and you'll be able to maximize every opportunity in the market. If you want to buy my course, it's $1,000. You can still reach me and get my course. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Until next time. Bye-bye. Love you.